Good evening, I am Adventure Argonaut. This is the Golden News and Happy New Year. I'm streaming from snowy Finland. First stream of the year and of my hiatus holiday and my first stream from Finland. And I do not know how well the internet here will work because I am in Finnish countryside where the internet isn't the best right now. It still looks functional, so let's see. But I am also recording this, so even if let's say the stream is gonna last only 5 minutes or something until it goes down, I am recording it on my OBS, so I can sort of upload it later. But at least right now everything looks hunky and odory, so let's go. Let's just get everything in order. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to get the chat for Kick. Pop out the chat like that. That. Still have to move it a bit, move it around, make it smaller. All right. And nope. My setup is a bit different than usual, so nope. How can I move this around? Yep. All right, like this. Okay. All right. So let's go here, and also, since this is still a bit experimental, I'm, streaming not from sunny Hong Kong, but from snowy Finland, so I didn't generate the AI images for all of the headlines and stuff, so it's sort of like I only made a few, so please bear with me. And also I have a new microphone, so I hope it improves the quality and instead of doing the opposite. But okay, let's go to the first story. So it's about the Epstein files that were very redacted, but apparently they is fairly simple to unredact the redaction. So this news is almost 2 weeks old now, but still. So 4chan has cracked the redactions and are able to see under the black text. The major investigation is starting on the Epstein files and we can see everything. So underneath this redacted text it says 204 defendants also attempted to conceal their criminal sex trafficking and abuse conduct by paying large sums of money to participant witnesses, including by paying for their attorney's fees and case costs in litigation related to this conduct. 204 Epstein also threatened to harm the victims and helped release damaging stories about them to damage their credibility when they tried to go public with their stories of being trafficked and sexually abused. Epstein also instructed one or more Epstein enterprise participant witnesses to destroy evidence relevant to the ongoing court proceedings involving defendants' criminal sex trafficking and abuse conduct. There's more dirt under the other redactions as well. It's possible to tell due to a poor upload job by the DOJ, or I guess it's impossible due to the poor upload job by DOJ. If you paste the file into your no, okay, yeah, it's possible. If you post the file into your forward processor, you can see the redaction. Okay, under the redactions you can clearly see the US government was covering up for sex trafficking pedophiles. Defendants Darren K. Indike and Richard D. Kahn settled for paying $105 million to the Virgin Islands. They were not found innocent or unliable in any sense by the suit, so there's no reason for the government to have redacted these names other than to protect these two wealthy perpetrators of Epstein's pedophilia. If this one page was uploaded poorly and reveals two wealthy pedophiles whom the US government is protecting, then how many pedophiles are being protected by the thousands upon thousands of redactions and other pages? And yeah, this is good reminder of this what Elon Musk tweeted last summer. Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Mark this post for the future. Truth will come out. And of course, he's deleted it since, but it's interesting that he did make this comment back in the day. And somebody reposted it on Christmas Eve. Nice. And yeah, Merry Christmas to Happy New Year, all that. And Epstein files, unredacted files show bribery and payoffs to silence victims and witnesses. DOJ used Adobe Redact some files that can be undone by copying and pasting and searching. So, like, it's still relatively few of these revelations that I've seen, but of course, this was, discovered a bit before Christmas, like one day before Christmas Eve. So maybe people sort of got distracted and forgot. Epstein had socialized with Prince and other high-profile figures, including U.S. President Donald Trump and former Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigating conclusions to the sentencings of Trump ally Roger Stone. That have raised Berman, who was appointed by President Donald Trump, was asked by a reporter at a press conference whether the Giuliani, Trump's personal attorney, president sentencing Stone. Okay, this is a bit of a mess. I don't know. Let's see this. Trump said Kushner's security clearance is up to something. Donald Trump's name was there. Each page had the name, address, company. Motion. They had said that Cohen has heard Trump say things about Epstein, but would not get into detail at this time. Donald Trump was arrested on July 6 for alleged sex trafficking of minor girls in Florida and New York. So does it mean Donald Trump or somebody else was arrested? I think maybe it's like redacted the name. Some of the Beach Sheriff's Office spent $5.6 million for Trump's 2017-2018 trips. The Palm Beach Post reported in April. So is there anything like really interesting here? I don't know, but it's like I hope there are many, people who've been actually investigating this and they discover something. And it goes to, the question is like, were these redactions that, you can just undo the redactions in this way? Is it a bug or a feature? Like maybe somebody actually who was forced to redact them didn't really want to do it and did it like this way, or are they truly so incompetent? The Epstein files were redacted on Adobe Acrobat. There's an unredacted versions. Trump ran a prostitution fucking ring. So, Schmidt said no, meant cocaine. Villeneuve took somebody back inside, and someone told the party that Donald Trump had invited them all to a party at Mar-a-Lago. Somebody told Villeneuve she wanted to go, but Villeneuve told somebody it wasn't that kind of party, it was for prostitutes. So, well, this isn't like if this indeed means that Trump ran a prostitute ring, that's still not the worst crime you can do when, uh, looking at stuff Epstein was into. It's still quite minor, like not saying it should be ignored or anything, but like I don't know. Like, or is this like some rabbit hole like this, unredactions? Is it like a distraction that they try to make people look into stuff that's really not looking for the smoking gun, but no smoking gun? Not quite sure about it. Epstein files: Trump accused of rape and later victim committed suicide and was found with her head blown off. The police did not believe it was suicide. So during some blob time as a driver, he had met Donald Trump. Donald Trump immediately demeanor went stone cold as somebody stated he raped me. So I guess Trump. Uh, so yeah, and she was found dead, and noticed she was found with her head blown off in Kiefer, Oklahoma. Officers on the scene and Blob stated there was no way it was suicide. So yeah, and something about Mexican drug cartels. So feels the murder is a cover for Ghislaine. I don't know. Hmm. And new Epstein files: Epstein used fake Austrian passport with alias Marius Fortelny. The DOJ has released an Austrian passport containing Epstein's photo but issued under name Marius Robert Fortelny. The fake passport listed his birthplace as Vienna and his residence as Daman, Saudi Arabia. Profession listed manager. Yeah, he did manage some sort of people. Is part of a trove of thousands of Epstein-related files released overnight. So yeah, it goes to like I guess it's not just that it was this probably wasn't his only alias, but just I wonder how many other people in similar positions like Epstein have various passports and identities they can use to do all sorts of business internationally. Especially business that's not so moral. And yeah, Elon Musk deleted the tweet about Trump being in the Epstein files. Yeah. And yeah, X apparently just discovered Ghislaine Maxwell's Reddit account. The account was created in 2006, is one of the most powerful on Reddit, and is a moderator on r World News or r/World News. Yeah, I've heard about this, or allegedly, I guess I have to say it's allegedly Ghislaine Maxwell's Reddit account, but yeah, I heard about this years ago. One of the most powerful Reddit accounts ever. You/Maxwell Hill, a longtime curator and moderator of r/World News, stopped posting the day Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. The account had posted almost daily for 14 years. Yeah, and I understand that this account was like quite powerful in determining the direction of the thought on Reddit, or at least some subreddits or something. Yeah, this has been public knowledge since 2020. Yeah, it's not like it's news, but it's still good to remind. Like, I'd forgotten about it because there's so much information, and if people don't know about it, it's good to, there should be like, because there's news, but there should be like, there are some like, memory hole accounts on Twitter and stuff. So I just think we need a bit of both of that, like both news and relevant old information, even though like no new event necessarily has happened that makes that piece of old news relevant, but it's still good to remind people. Epstein survivor Anushka de Giorgio, then age 31, emails Jeffrey while he's incarcerated in Florida and offers to come visit and or send him pics of herself. Seriously, through those sweetheart, if I can do anything, let me know. Later received 3.25 million from the Epstein estate. So she doesn't seem like a victim if this is true. And Tristan Tate here says, it is terrifying to think that maybe Epstein was just a rich guy hiring hookers who all turned on him when the opportunity to get richer was presented. This is far more important than any mainstream media outlet will ever report. See, this is like I don't know how to take good punch bowl and put turn in it or something. Like like yeah, sure. I'm sure there are some girls who weren't really victims. They were morally quite questionable. Who did business with Epstein and his cohorts. Probably, like as it seems, Anuska here is, but it's sort of disingenuous to suggest that all were like that. And it's very much like, simplifying the very, like I'm trying to brush it under the rug because I've seen people claim that Epstein did nothing wrong on, several people, and I still I'm not quite sure if they mean it as a meme or mean it literally, but it's like, yeah, no, I do think he did some things wrong, but like yes, like many people point out that as far as I know, he wasn't an actual pedophile. Like he didn't screw 5-year-olds. He was more like 15-year-olds, and I do think there is this difference. One is clearly a child, and the other is post puberty. Like you can certainly it's illegal in many places and so forth, but there is still a difference. That's why, like, I am a card carrying member of the language Nazi party, and both might be uh, reprehensible, but there's one act is even more reprehensible than the other. And here is Epstein survivor Juliet Rose Bryant claiming that Epstein list, I will name names. I'm not scared of being sued. Come for me, Michael Bay. Michael Bay, I dare you. So I guess she's alleging or suggesting that Michael Bay was an Epstein client. And I guess she seems to be implying that Michael Bay did something to her when she was younger. And well, I guess that like that sort of stuff would make sense that that Michael Bay got into the position that he is in Hollywood because of connections with people like Epstein, because all his movies suck, right? Has he made any good movies? I don't think I've seen so many, but usually people think they suck, and I have to agree with them on that, on the few that I've seen. All right, let's move on from Epstein to, well, this is just one news story. And so New Year's fire at Swiss bar kills 40 in Crans, Montana. Okay, the fire broke out around 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day at Le Constellation Bar in the upscale Swiss ski resort of Crans, Montana. So killing at least 40 people and injuring, and most of them were 20-somethings, or some were teenagers. And since then, this I've heard that like the cause of the fire supposedly was like some champagne bottles with like candles attached to them, and then somehow caught fire and it spread or something. I don't know. It sounds retarded, but it's like, yeah, of course this is tragedy, sad and all that stuff. But when stuff like this happens, like I guess because it's like on a holiday, like this is a pitiful way to go. Like, um, like maybe it's my head canon or something, but like when you go in a way like this, it's like like you're on a holiday, and it's like seems like a stupid way to go. Like, of course, it's like you decide you go to a party, but it's like I, I don't know. It's like a sacrifice, and I'm not saying it's like a deliberate and anybody necessarily orchestrated this, but it's sort of like spiritually speaking, it's a sacrifice to I don't know, like it's a vapid way to go, I guess. Like compared to just an honest accident or something. It's like, if they didn't go to this stupid occasion, they would be alive. And of course, it's, easy to say in hindsight, but I don't know. It makes it like, just even more sad in that sense that it's just so stupid. Like, presumably somebody just screwed up royally and causing lots of deaths. And, I'm not suggesting there's anything arson like or anything like that about that, but I don't know, it's like the state of consciousness of people who were there. I don't think they were paying attention to possible dangers and stuff. Okay, and then there's the news about the Somali daycare in Minnesota, I believe, and so apparently they got like millions of dollars in aid from the government, and then they um, supposedly they don't even run a daycare center. Some people seem to be suggesting, and then when the Democrats hear about it, they're just calling you racist instead of like looking into it. So like stuff like that makes me think that maybe there's something else going on that. Well, I guess if you follow the money trail, it goes, I don't know, deeper, might lead to other kinds of Democrat associated institutions or organizations, or maybe there's, since it's, child daycare center, like wondering if this even something pizza related or something. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know all the details, but since everybody was talking about it for a couple of days, I looked into it a little bit, and that's just like my take on it. Like, I wonder, like, I guess the connections that this particular scam would be, or alleged scam would be, related to. Okay, and then some Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk kind of news. So Harrison Smith, this morning, government official reached out to me, and I put them in contact with my source because he had, shortly after Charlie Kirk was shot, he said that he'd heard from a reliable source, or did he say it before he was shot, that he's afraid for his life or something. Anyway, foundering here says that 1. Harrison publicly warns Israel might assassinate Charlie Kirk. So yeah, it was before he was shot. 2. 1 month later, CK is neutralized. 3. Feds completely ignore Harrison's warning. 4. 3 months later, Harrison says they never contacted him. 5. Less than 24 hours later, the feds contact him. Does this not make you WTF? Yeah. I Now that I think of it, it really does sound like the feds sort of know the information already, so they weren't interested in it, or because they're not interested in investigating the matter at all. That's how it sounds like to me when you put this info together. Oh yeah, and then Alex Jones has been. Well, yeah, here he's shilling for
I don't
Labubu.
always hang out on Christmas Eve or New Year's with my Labubu, but when I do,
Where's
I hang out with.
wait, where's my volume? My sound. Okay, I'm not gonna mess around. I guess like my microphone seems to be working, but didn't hear any of this sound. Yeah, it's not going to my okay, because it's probably the TV I'm connected to, or something. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not gonna play any other clips with the sound. But like, yeah, he's shilling Labubu. Like, I'm sorry, Labubus, they're demonic. They're hideous. It's like Like, sure, there are all sorts of ugly fads and toys and stuff in the world, but it's like, the fact that Labubu has been shielded so much, by celebrities, and now he's doing it, it's clearly something demonic. And I'm not usually one to say something like that, but come on, that's too blatant. And also, it's sad how completely Alex Jones has sold out. Yeah, because he's also going after Candice Owens really hard. And I'm not saying Candice Owens is necessarily like, the truest warrior for truth and justice out there, but she's definitely more of I don't know, this animation is very hypnotic, but yeah, she's more, trustworthy than either of these guys, in my opinion. And yeah, Laura Loomer is apparently his handler. So Laura Loomer said, "I'm not sure why Alex Jones is upset at what I posted, because she said something that they had a conversation. Do I have it here?" So Alex Jones admitting Laura Loomer was his handler was not on our 2025 bingo cards. So yeah, Alex Jones declares war on Candace Owens, calling her a globalist agent, deep state agent, CIA, MI6, Democratic plant. Also, yeah, can someone explain why Fuentes used to be so close with Laura Loomer? Yeah, it's this good question. Okay, that's okay. Well, I wonder where. Damn it, I didn't save the clip where it was basically that Alex Jones said that he had a conversation with Laura Loomer or something, and or no, was it her that she actually said that after her conversation with Alex Jones came saw the light on Candice Owens or something like that. Anyways, let's see what she says here. "I'm not sure why Alex Jones is obsessed with what I posted. I genuinely meant it. I really enjoyed our conversation a couple of weeks ago about many people in the woke Reich. We talked about who is possibly a Fed and who is paid by Muslims and who is lying to be malicious. I shared my thoughts with Alex and he shared his with me. It was a very nice conversation." Like, why does this woman have access to Alex Jones anyways? Like, what's her power? Like, she seems to, supposedly a random journalist, but she seems to wield a lot of power in certain circles. So I'm not trying to create a stunt or manipulate anything. I was genuinely happy to see Alex call Candice Owens out. Obviously, I don't want to betray anybody's confidence because it was a private conversation, but during my call with Alex Jones, I made it very clear that I believe Candice is deliberately lying in an effort to destroy turning points. And I provided Alex with many examples. I also told him who I believe is getting paid by Islamic governments to disrupt our country and promote Islamic immigration and the fake concept of a Christian-Muslim alliance. This is the problem with everybody wanting to be friends with each other. How are we supposed to speak freely when and hold each other accountable if everybody wants to be friends? I have 4 dogs. I don't need to worry about people not wanting to be my friend. This is about moral clarity. I gave Alex a compliment for expressing some moral clarity as it pertains to calling out Candice Owens, but he has decided to say my compliment and commentary about our phone conversation is a stunt. There's nothing to gain from this. I'm just glad everybody is waking up to the psyop of the woke right. Woof 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 woof. What? So yeah, I think yeah, Alex Jones is angry with her because she said the quiet part out loud or something. All right, let's go here. Um, so yeah, Nick Fuentes reacts to JD Vance telling him to eat shit. It's honestly so flattering that Vice President would invite me to join his family in a traditional Indian dinner. See, because he had, I guess Fuentes had said something disparaging about JD Vance or his wife, and now, and JD Vance, of course, told him to eat shit, and this is how Fuentes responded. And I think this is a very good, witty response, and I appreciate it. I'm not a big fan of Fuentes, but, I haven't said that he's not, witty or charismatic. My problem with Fuentes is mainly that he's not really trustworthy. Like I don't think he really believes much of the stuff that he says. Like the Romanian guy, he's been saying that or suggesting that Fuentes is a Democrat plant. That all the candidates that he tells people to support are always Democrats, and I'm not saying I wholeheartedly agree with what we is alleging, but at least it's worth considering. Like he's onto something at least. But yeah, well, I don't care. Democrats, Republican. Generally speaking, the parties don't matter. Certain individuals within those parties might matter, but that's the extent of it. Anyways, let's go to Europe. So France diplomacy, and this is like it has the gray cog mark. So this is actually like some French diplomacy agency relating digital platforms to protect citizens. Democratic debate and the rule of law is not censorship; it is responsibility. See, this is just a lie. It is um, censorship. Like you could say that if you don't want to be completely dishonest, that sometimes censorship is a responsibility of the government. Like I might even argue like agree with that, but although I would say that it's very rarely, but like sure, like I don't want children to see hard porn or head decapitations and stuff like that. Like yeah, sure, some censorship is necessary, but like the kind of censorship that EU does is no, that's not something I usually agree with though, and especially not their lies. But at least like they're honest. This is the French government basically saying that yeah, we are censoring, even though don't call us censors or I'm gonna sue you. um, So Tyranny Breton gets his dessert. So if the name of Thierry Breton sounds familiar to you, it's probably because of this. So former EU commissioner admits that the EU was responsible for the cancellation of the elections in Romania. We did it in Romania and we'll do it in Germany if necessary. Yeah, democracy. And I'm not even a fan of democracy, but like at least, you should try, like pretend like it's like the people in the highest positions of our democracy, quote unquote, that they would at least care about like the principles and rules of democracy, but of course they don't. And like this guy and some other EU bureaucrats, they were banned from traveling to United States because of their very Orwellian methods. And there's this, I open Facebook and this is what I see. People in Canada can't see this content. This isn't right. So Sky News Australia. People in Canada can't see this content. See, like it's Canada. I almost support this just to screw with Canadians, but it's like, yeah. In response to Canadian government legislation, news content can't be viewed in Canada. And I'm just like, does the uh, average Canadian NPC idiot even know about this stuff? Like, do they have any clue how, censure happy the government is? Do they care? Do they support this? I don't know. Like, what's wrong with, white people? Since I guess Canada is still majority white country, right? Because same with Europe, majority doesn't seem to care. So maybe part of the populations of Europe and other Western nations, maybe they have to be replaced because they sort of lost all touch with reality. The EU says it will introduce a digital payments infrastructure to replace Visa, MasterCard, and Apple Google Pay. It will have zero fees and will be 100% European only. See, like, in theory it sounds good, but of course, many people are quick to point out they're also gonna, if the EU is gonna control it, then if they don't like what you're saying online or what you're doing, they can just cancel it, prevent you from using money at all because you're a liability or a Russian asset or whatever. Yeah, and yes, they can turn it off at will if they don't like what you say or how you think. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. But hey, still part of me makes like partially it makes me feel happy because I hate Visa, Mastercard, and Apple and Google Pay. But still, this probably isn't the best solution to that problem. Marco Rubio announces EU and British officials complicit in fining Elon Musk and X are now officially banned from entering the United States. Thierry Breton behind Digital Services Act, Imran Ahmed, Center of Countering Digital Hate, Claire Melford, Global Disinformation Index, Annalena von Hodenberg, Hate Aid. Do we need? I could join hate aid. I'm pretty sure at like aiding people to hate stuff more, like these bureaucrats. I think I'm pretty good at making people hate them, and let's build some oubliettes for them, please. Anyway, Josephine Ballon hate aid. So I don't know if this is gonna like do any have any like concrete results, but I guess it's symbolical at least because sure, I do like I don't think that this uh, bureaucrat should just be banned from United States. I think they should be banned from all European countries and they should be locked in an oubliette. Anyways, end of woke food experiment. Europe's largest insect farm goes bankrupt despite receiving almost 200 million in public money. Is it $200 million or euros? It raised more than $600 million in public and private financing. Okay, well, that's 200 million euros worth of taxpayer money down the drain and for the failed You Will Eat Bugs initiative. So, and does anybody have to pay for this? Like, the people responsible, I mean, like, do they have to go to jail, declare bankruptcy or something? Like, will they be demoted or like, because if you're a regular person and you cause some losses, like you will have to pay. Like I don't know, you park in the wrong place and then you have to pay $50 for even though you didn't actually do anything harmful. But like this sort of shit, they do stuff that nobody actually wants. But at least this is good news still that this bug farm went bankrupt. I hope they will give up on this one of their dystopian agendas of trying to force us to eat bugs. But still, I want to see these people in oubliettes. I'm not happy that their schemes are foiled. I want to see the people punished for their actions. Was this Brussels demographic replacement denial is no longer possible? 3 out of 4 children are of non-European origin. So yeah, I guess this is interesting since Elon Musk is saying 73% of children in Brussels, the capital of Europe. Well, it's not the capital of Europe. It might be capital of EU, but there's a difference. Anyway, they are not European. The great replacement has already happened. So yeah, I guess that's something that Elon Musk is using that phrase so like openly. But still, oh, and then we go to Africa, and where they actually seem to have more common sense or something. So High Court in Zimbabwe ordered a newly married gay couple to be put in a house arrest for 12 months, and if by the end of the period none of them will be pregnant, the court will further order the death penalty. And the court further ordered the death penalty. Yeah, so I think maybe they're onto something. I don't know. Yeah, it's more down to earth and also like a compassionate kind of judgment. All right, but now this is the end of the first segment. Let's see, I still have at least few of my beloved AI images here, so let's go to Israel Delenda Est. It's gonna be a fairly short section, but it's gonna be a section still. So Israel has to be destroyed. Of course, that's what Israel Delenda Est means. Of course, I'm talking about the political entity. So yeah, I cannot.
It looks like YouTube has quietly deleted more than 700 videos that document Israeli human rights.
I don't hear her, but like it says the desktop audio. I don't know. I'm not sure if you can hear her voice either. It doesn't really matter. So Anna Kasparian uncovers YouTube's covert removal of 700 plus clips documenting Israeli war crimes, a clear assist to the US in covering up Israeli war crimes. Yeah, that's just how it goes, since Israel hasn't been delendated yet. Netanyahu announces Israel is awarding President Trump the Israel Prize. It is the country's highest cultural honor, and he has not been won by a non-Israeli in nearly 80 years. But there's a community note. This is incorrect, as the last non-Israeli to win the award was Indian conductor Zubin Mehta in 1991. Okay, but still quite rare, I guess, for a non-Israeli to get it. So yeah, I guess Trump is saving Israel for the last, right? Trust the plan and all that. Mossad is crashing out over my plan. So what's the plan? As Florida governor, so James Fishback. I wonder if he's from Innsmouth. Does he have the look? As Florida governor, I will divest the entire $385 million currently in dollars currently invested in Israeli government bonds and launch a $385 million down payment assistance program to help married Florida couples buy their first home. Okay, that sounds like literally Hitler. Oh my God. What is Mossad saying here? Let's clear this up because the statement is written as if the reader won't notice basic facts and is a complete idiot. Florida's purchase of Israeli bonds is not foreign aid, it's market investments. The state gets its money back with interest and those returns flow back in Florida's budget. This is how bonds work. Calling that money sent abroad is either economic ignorance or intentional deception. Now look at what he proposes instead. Cancel a revenue generating investment and hand out $10,000 checks. That is not an investment. It produces no return, no yield, no asset for the state. It sounds spoken like a true J. Juice. Like the drink, I mean. But then Elon Musk. So a childhood photo of Elon Musk dressed as Santa Claus, and he says at Purim, and Purim is some Jewish holiday. I don't even know what they do in Purim, but like, why is he celebrating Purim as a child? And is this Donald Trump? This figure here in the background, or like a effigy of Donald Trump? So yeah, I guess it would explain a few things why he's, if he's celebrating Purim about, X and everything. Okay, Carl Benjamin. I don't really care about. He has some beef with Korobochka, and Korobochka is just some Twitter user whose takes I sometimes agree with. But he posted this, so this is from I don't know how. This is probably like almost 10 years old YouTube comment. So somebody said, Revolutionary Bastard said, Hello, dear Sargon of Akkad. Can you please do a video on the Kalergi plan? You know, Kordenhof Kalergi plan. Please, sincerely, a viewer from Switzerland. And Sargon responded, Rob T, your race will die off. I'm part of the white genocide. Give a fuck collectivist. So yeah, that's how Sargon of Akkad, like, of course you can say he's changed his mind since then, but that's one reason I liked Sargon of Akkad like 10 years ago for a little while, but then I noticed that he's wasn't really learning. He was stuck in his sitting on his fence for a long time, and then I started to resent him, and this is especially his attitude back in the day. I guess he wouldn't say stuff this blatantly nowadays against, let's say more. He wouldn't counter signal against the far right in this way nowadays, but who knows what he believes, and because he's I think he's mostly in it for the ego and not because he actually cares about things. Okay, but now that was related to Israel Delenda Est. I guess that's reveals something about my view of Sargon here. Don Sargone. So let's go to entertainment and gaming and all that stuff. And Christmas. Christmas comes early. Okay, let's focus. So yesterday evening, someone leaked PlayStation 5 ROM keys online. Emulation nerds are going schizo because this could mean we have PlayStation 5 emulation technology, ability to run non-PlayStation 5 games, etc. TLDR Sony executives on New Year's Eve, like this cat. RIP Sony. Well, I hope so. So PlayStation 5 ROM keys leaked. Sony can't fix this with a software update for existing consoles because it's part of the physical chip. It makes a lot easier for hackers to study how the PS5 starts up and protects itself. This could speed up work on things like homebrew, fan-made games, apps, better emulators playing PS5 games on PC, and eventual full jailbreaks running unsigned code. Right now, it doesn't mean you can suddenly pirate claims or fully hack your PS5. There are still many other logs in the system that need to be broken first. For normal players, nothing changes today. For your PS5 works the same. No big wave of piracy yet. I guess there's probably like 5 unique games on PS5 that I might be actually interested in playing. But notoriously, PS5 doesn't have many games. Even was that Stellar Blade is on PC as well nowadays. So this is a huge mask-off moment for localizers. For what localizers and the Western entertainment industry in general think of Japanese. Of course, talking about manga and anime localizers. They consider them moral, cultural, and intellectual inferiors. It's a level of racism that wouldn't be out of place mid-World War II propaganda. Localizers believe with their whole chest that they are saving you from the culture of a lesser race. Huh? What the hell is wrong with you? So what does anime outsiders say here? Because Japan and the West have very different kinds of humor, and the blunt and the be blunt, I guess to be blunt, Japanese humor is really only funny to the Japanese. Not true. Like, okay, I don't generally speaking find Japanese humor that funny, but some of it is still funny, and well, that's not shouldn't really be this guy's purview, but to determine for others what they find funny. Their use of puns is worse than a 60s cartoon. Well, that I disagree. Actually, I love Japanese puns when I can understand them. Of course, they're not so easy to understand because it usually includes, weird readings of kanji and all that. They have an entirely genre of comedy revolving around having a guy to explain every joke to the audience. Poke chukkomi. Okay, I don't know this term, but okay, yeah, they have some weird genres of comedy. I agree with that. For every Japanese comedy, there's about 100 that only they would find funny. Well, then let them have them. Like, what's the problem here? Most of the planet doesn't think not saying the appropriate line for a situation is a knee slapper. Well, actually, okay, Shin-chan saying so, talking about Crayon Shin-chan saying itadakimasu when he comes home from school does not translate in the least, and it's frankly just not funny. No, actually, I think it's funny. Like, I think Shin-chan is funny when he's, saying stuff wrong. Some of it isn't that funny, but generally speaking, yeah, I think it's funny. And so if a foreign adaptation wants him to say something else that's goofy when he comes home to get the same point across, it's fine. Well, no, it's like, why would you watch Japanese comedy anime if you don't find it funny? Like, certainly, like, it's not easy to translate many of the jokes in Shin-chan because many of them are language based. So that's certainly a difficulty. But it's like, stuff like itadakimasu. Anybody who understands basic Japanese culture nowadays should know what itadakimasu is, and when you say that you say itadakimasu before you eat, or or if the translator assumes that the audience won't know it, they can have like some, asterisk on the top of the screen saying that itadakimasu is, you say it before you eat, sort of like, saying grace or whatever. But like, so basically this guy says Shinchan is not funny, and that's why we have to rewrite everything. How about just don't translate it then, which is actually something. It's difficult to find many Shinchan episodes that aren't dubbed, which is horrible, like online. Like, well, you can find like some, but like vast majority of them I haven't been able to find. But with English subbing and original Japanese dubbing, but like these people are just horrible. Like, yeah, just like this guy said that they despise Japanese culture. Like, sure, Japanese humor can be different, but it's also, I'm pretty sure he says, like, Japan and the West have very different kinds of humor. Western humor is not, I presume there's talking about American humor and presumably like, some West Coast liberal kind of humor, Hollywood humor. Because the West has many different countries with different kinds of humors, and America even has different kinds of humor. I presume that the Rust Belt will have this different kind of sense of humor than the liberal states and all that. But it's like, okay. Rant off. Let's see what other stupid stuff their localizers have done. So Netflix localizers rewrite Blue Box English script sees character complimented for being feminist instead of feminine. Would you like anime localizers to be replaced with AI? Well, I'd like AI to build robots and shove them into oubliettes at this point. Yeah, and I don't think I have the tab here, but there was also some anime where they say Merry Christmas, but it was translated Happy Holidays. Like, you can hear them say Merry Christmas, and I think there was even a banner saying something about Christmas, but it's like, no, Happy Holidays. because I guess these localizers will burst into flames if you say the word Christ, like Christmas. Okay. IO Interactive says an old school Bond would be tone deaf today as 007 First Light moves the character towards more modern values. So yes, new James Bond game coming out and it's gonna be woke. Like, come on, this is 2026 and they're still doing this bullshit. Like, even if they made it like a old school misogynistic womanizing Bond, it's not a guarantee that the game would be a success, but certainly it would be a step in the right direction if they actually want to make a successful video game. But I guess they don't care about that. This is just pathetic. I guess maybe they were stuck in an oubliette for 5 years and they didn't notice that culture has changed and people are really sick of this BS. I thought AI was supposed to make video games cheaper, so was this. We are not ready for how much worse video game prices will spiral out of control thanks to AI. Yeah, well, this is like, well, anything happens, prices go up. It's like, reminds me of some, like, around 20 years ago or so, when there was some storms in the I don't know, somewhere in the Atlantic, maybe Pacific Oceans, and then the oil prices went up. And it's like, oh, there's a storm, and it sort of shakes around an oil drilling platform or something. Like, oh my God, now we have to raise prices because now it gives them an excuse. So anything happens related to something, and then the industry sees it as an excuse to raise prices. That's how it works. Yeah. BS. And that I this particular issue isn't because of AI. You shouldn't blame, like, you can blame AI for various things, but this is not because of AI, this pricing going up, because that should lower prices, right? Because they can fire people and then AI takes care of their job, so that should be cheaper, like, but so this is just an excuse to raise prices instead. So blame the industry, and I hope that the games industry will crash. Maybe this will be the year. I've been waiting for like more than 15 years for the games industry to crash. Like, when will I get my wish? GOG is getting bought out by an original founder. So GOG is entering a new chapter. Michael Kicinski, co-founder of CD Projekt and GOG, has acquired GOG from CD Projekt. The mission stays the same: make games live forever. Going back to our roots allows us to double down on what we do best, reviving classics, giving you a library you control rather than one that controls you, and offering the most gamer-friendly policies on the market. At the same time, we will continue to close cooperation with we'll continue our close cooperation with CD Projekt. I'm sorry, it's quite late here. I'm tired, and also I'm a bit rusty. It's been almost 2 weeks since my last golden news. Anyways, and the upcoming games will be available on GOG. Um, so I don't know. I guess this is good news if it's going private and doesn't have to listen to the shareholders who want some stupid DEI policies and stuff. But of course, I have faith in humanity in screwing anything up, that even things that sound good on the surface. Oh yeah, Nintendo is gay. They also say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Like, Mario would, the original Mario would say Merry Christmas. He's Catholic. Come on, man. Although, like, well, seriously speaking, though, all that shit that Mario has seen, like, weird monsters he's fought, like, would he have faith in, like, I think some of the stuff he's experienced would um, go against what the dogma that Catholic Church teaches him. So maybe he would go like sort of Lovecraftian and go nuts that his sense of reality has been is completely out of whack. So, but still, okay, we're talking about Nintendo, not Mario. So yeah, they should say Merry Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm fine with that. Uh, but yeah, this is lame. But now that I'm thinking about like Super Mario and Lovecraftian stuff, like maybe it would make more sense than it seems on the surface. We got the first Expedition 33 like Chinese copy, the official trailer for Sword and Fairy 4 remake. Get ready for the next years as all games might look like this. Yeah, that's one reason why I've never played Expedition 33 Clear Obscure blah blah blah, but one reason I'm not a big fan because it's like, well, it has the dodge button. At least maybe I will be proven wrong, but I like my turn-based games to be turn-based. That they don't have any quick time event bullshit. Like it's possible they've done it well. Maybe this game will do it well, but doesn't sound good in theory at least. I think I have like one Sword and Fairy on my Steam account, but I haven't played it. So I don't know. Don't care about this particular game itself, but yeah, there's gonna be more copies. Just like World of Warcraft and everything else back in the day. Like everybody's trying to make their inferior copy of it instead of making something unique that actually makes money, like Clair Obscure. Okay, so we need to have a serious conversation about how much censorship is within this anime. So this is One Punch Man. Just showing some legs is deemed worthy enough deemed worthy of enough time to focus on to censor. This has been most consistent focus on every single episode. Is it just me or is this sentence a bit weird? Anyways, feels like a push to make anime safe. So yeah, here you can see like little bit of her ass and some leg, and here it's like nope, let's burka up. Yeah, this is just pathetic. Like I don't know. Has somebody looked into like the finances of the company that made this season of One Punch Man anime? Like who is funding it? Is it like BlackRock or something like that? It's like why is it so bad? Not in the not just because of the censorship, but also because of the frame rate. Yeah, Punch Man got censored, so here she has like a speedos, and here she has like more like shorts, and also this guy also disappeared. But I don't know, maybe he's gonna appear later. I don't know. I haven't read any of the manga, just seen the first two seasons that I liked. But the third season, I don't wanna. It's just gonna make me sad and or angry to watch the third season. So I probably won't do it. And yeah, they announced another core, or second part for season 3, made by the same team. Yay! So they couldn't even be bothered to make a new key visual and just move the PNGs in reverse, bruh. So yeah, is this the first part and the second part? Yeah, just lazy. And yeah, they had like 6 years to make this season. They still screwed it up in so many different ways. I wonder, like I wish there's gonna be like a documentary one day pointing out all the mistakes and why they were made. So I wish more hackers did cool shit like this instead of shitty DDoS attacks. So people were banned from TOS breach. So what's this? Rainbow Six Siege has been hacked, with hackers giving players billions of in-game currency and randomly banning accounts. Developers have acknowledged the incident and are working on a resolution. So like good, I guess. I used to play Rainbow Six Siege and actually liked it quite a bit, but it's been almost like a decade. I don't remember exactly when was the last time I played it, but it was when the Korean team was it the newest or at least one of the newest additions to the game, and there was like the zombie sort of event during that one summer, and the zombie event really sucked. And after that, I uninstalled the game. I thought like, okay, maybe I'll try it again in 6 months or something, but I never got back to it, especially since I heard that it's just gotten worse and worse whenever I looked into it. And of course, I think they added some trans characters, and because of course, so yeah, I sort of lost interest, or rather, the game lost interest in me if they just made it worse. China's largest comic convention bans anime and manga. What can you even say about that? China's largest comic convention, Comic Up, has effectively banned Japanese anime and manga from its upcoming event after organizers announced a sudden shift to new Chinese style only format. Oh well, good luck to them. Unleash the Avatar game from an Indian developer. Indian studio AOS Games is developing its first AAA Souls-like title set in the slums of India. So please tell me this is a real game. I'm still not sure if this is just some meme that somebody created or an actual game, because if it's actually a game and it's not a buggy mess, it seems like it might be fun. Like, I don't know, like has a sense of humor about itself based on this clip. At least like this. Come on. I'm actually sort of intrigued about this game, if it is indeed a game and not just a meme. Oh yeah. So Sky can stick its Japanese Mozart when the sun don't shine. So they're making some TV show, or made it already, about Mozart, and he's like Japanese. But hey, that's evidence that wokeness is dying, because he's not black. He's been upgraded. Like, depends on how you look at it. It's upgraded from black guy to a Japanese guy, or downgraded from a white guy to a Japanese. And hey, I don't make the rules. That's what they made uh, these categories. I'm just observing them. It's like I can't get angry about something like this. It's like, come on, man. So stupid. Oh yeah, and Stranger Things turned gay and ended. Uh, I've never watched any Stranger Things. Like, I remember when the first season came out, whenever that was. It's like, sure, it sounded sort of interesting, but also like my intuition said I shouldn't bother, because like, yeah, sure, probably the first 2 seasons I might like, but based on what I've heard, it's just gotten worse and worse, like many shows like this. And everybody seems to hate the last season and the last few episodes and all that stuff. And this guy, of course, magically turned gay, and like this image, I believe, is just a meme, not an actual event. But everybody's probably seen the clip, and I don't know. I don't even know the character's name or anything, but it's just I guess I had to acknowledge at least that. Well, that is good if the show is over. So now they're gonna have to come up with some other show for people to talk about that I'm never gonna watch. And Katsuhiro Harada says, I'm no longer developer creator of the Tekken series. Harada Tekken is completely dead. So this guy, but here it says that So in Tekken 1 and 2, he was the voice actor for martial law Yoshimitsu and Kunimitsu. And he was a director in Tekken 3 on an executive producer and all that stuff. So I'm sort of like, so he didn't create Tekken, right? Because I like Tekken, but like from Tekken 1 to Tekken 5, and even like 5, I didn't play much. But I haven't played anything since Tekken 5, so I don't really know about it. But I know that, latest Tekkens, like any fighting franchise nowadays, like you have to get the characters as DLC. Like, Tekken 3, you just had to beat all the enemies so you unlock all the characters. You didn't have to pay extra, but this is, evolution and advancement. So now you have to pay, and I won't do that. Anyway, so yeah, here it says creator is Seiji Ishii. So I don't know what's the, like here he's saying no longer creator of Tekken series, and I'm not like trying to throw shade or whatever against this guy, because I really don't know. I didn't know about any people working on Tekken games or anything like that. Like, so what's their relationship? I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me if they know. Okay, let's go see the last thing here. So this is what they took from you. This is, I think it's 101 Dalmatians movie, I think. Literally just walk up to a cute girl in the park and make small talk. A month later, you're already married together and about to have children. Holy shit, did boomers really have it that easy? This scene blew my mind when I first saw it. Couldn't believe it as a zoomer. This is an animated kids movie featuring talking dogs. Well, sure, but it does still, represent society, and I guess what is seemed somewhat acceptable, like a realistic or believable, I guess that's the word, like a believable account of how a young couple might meet each other. So I do think, like, this is just a meme somebody said on some basket weaving forum, but still, I do think they have had a point still they made about it. Yeah, and there's this. The English was still so well off in the late 80s and early 90s that an unemployed, mentally challenged man could live on his own in London and have a GF. And of course, this is Mr. Bean. Yeah. And boomers had it easier than anyone in recorded history, and they will die before they start World War III. But like somebody says that it wasn't really made by boomers, it was made before when boomers were still young, but I guess it still represent the world that boomers were born into, that stuff like this was much easier than nowadays. So yeah, I do think, there's a point. Just, don't take it too literally. Like it does, show like, depictions, fictional depictions of human interactions, they can still, tell something about society and how it works or used to work, even though it's a, fictional story and all that stuff. Because now people are finding this to be somewhat like unbelievable that something like this could happen, that it could be so easy just to, find somebody and fall in love and don't worry about, I don't know, all the other stuff that people have to worry about, whether it's financial or whatever, getting cancelled for the wrong faux pas and so forth. But anyways, that's the all I have to say about that, about the first golden news of the year. And I will be doing more golden news and more game streams eventually as well, and I don't know, let's see if I can come up with something new. And but yeah, I'm still in Finland for a few weeks probably, and might do a few more streams. And so did all of this, like did the entire stream actually get uploaded to the internet? Didn't break up or anything? Not sure, but whatever. I am Adventure Argonaut. I thank you for watching. Bye bye.